I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yeah! Yeah, baby!
And we are back. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Bowman, APA, here with Double J, Jeremy Jones. We are at the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida. Second round action about to kick off here. We know we've had some technical difficulties in that first round match. I want to let you guys know Tina Larson did win that match, the defending champion, defeating Rachel Lang by a score of 5-2. And we've got another match getting ready to get underway here momentarily. Hopefully the feed stays up throughout the match, Jeremy, but we're going to see Lisa Cossette, 2018 Women's U.S. Amateur Champion from Rockwell, North Carolina, playing Melissa Durkin out of Tallahassee, Florida. Melissa's been here a few times as well. In fact, she noted that she finished 5th in 2018. Lisa Cossette was her first loss, so chance for Melissa to avenge that loss from a couple years back.
Yeah, you certainly don't forget those things, do you, Jason?
I tend to forget them because it happens frequently for me. But tournament format, again, this is a race to 5, combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. One of the things that really makes this event so unique is the fact that they have to be proficient in both formats, up to 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball. Double elimination, at least up until the final match, which is an extended race. And, of course, we note winner of lag, but for now, because of COVID, we're doing a coin flip instead of a lag. So the winner of the coin flip chooses the break or the format. Typically, we see that most players take that break. What do you think of that strategy, Jeremy? Would you give up the break to pick the format?
Big table, probably taking the break. You got to play both formats anyways,
sure.
Most likely. 9-ball, you could get away with it, but you don't expect that. You're always thinking it's going to be a competitive match.
So you want the break?
Yeah, I think so.
Players want the break, it seems like, and that's typically what we do see is they take the break. So I think this is a warm up here still, right? Little practice. Oh, they're in match. Okay, they've already broken, and this is Melissa at the table here. Melissa had the break, which means Lisa would have selected the format of 9-ball. You're seeing Lisa at the table now.
Yeah, Lisa's tough. A lady I watched a lot in 2019 while we were here.
Yeah, she was the defending champ that year.
Yeah.
So always tough for the defending champs. Jeremy, they come in here. Maybe sometimes they came in under the radar when they won the title or that kind of thing. But, man, when they come back as the champ, everybody knows who they are. Everybody looks for them on the bracket. And they're kind of the hunted, if you will.
Yeah, they're the hunted, and that's a good point. But also themselves mentally, they come in with, you always have expectations, of course, but you kind of take it one match at a time. But then after you win the event, you know what you're capable of. So you put probably a little bit of pressure on yourself. And, of course, it's always fun to run deep in the tournament. So.
Again, both these players pretty accomplished, though. We mentioned that Melissa has a 5th-place finish under her belt, so neither of these players newcomers to this environment. Should be a great match here as we get settled into day 1 of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Great crowd here at Strokers. They're limiting the capacity a little bit, Jeremy, but it certainly seems
pretty busy.
Pretty busy, safely busy, I should say. Everybody's masked and seated, so doing what they can to kind of keep everybody safe. Got about a dozen of these air filters running in throughout the room as well. So I just went back to that tent back out there, and that's full too. So
yeah, I expect a big crowd.
Yeah, people ready to get out and about.
Yeah, in this tournament, of all the amateur tournaments, this is probably, the one you would think that are on most people's lists trying to qualify. I know there's several people I helped with their pool game back in Dallas that tried to qualify. They always talk about it. and we'll see a few of those arrive for the men's.
Yeah. Going to be a great few days of pool. What a great event to kind of, at least for APA, from APA's perspective, to welcome back major championship competition. This is a great opening act to 2021 for us.
Yeah, and it's kind of an event I'm sure that, you have some that probably don't aspire, but most of y'all's APA players aspire to get to this point playing right here at Strokers. And this is round number 2. I think we're seeing, are we seeing a few of the ladies that had a win in the first round come back right here at 1 o'clock, I think?
believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so, because I know Ashley Morgan, our league operator in Orlando, qualified. I think her opponent didn't show for the first round, and she got a forfeit, and I see her out there playing. So I think you're correct, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Right back in action for some of these ladies.
And that's usually a good thing. I mean, you come off a nice win, you're warmed up, you're used to the table a little bit more. You got that first match under your belt a bit. I like that. Always like that coming right back with that another match myself.
Saw Lisa with I think she had the jump cue there. Just missed that shot. Failed to make legal contact. Gives ball in hand to Melissa.
What I noticed about Lisa for sure, I mean, I don't know Melissa as well, but Lisa really, she pocketed balls really well. That's one thing I remember stand out. I know that sounds kind of crazy. It's kind of what you want to do in the game, of course, is pocket balls, but some people just are a little bit straighter shooters than others.
Interesting here. I was looking over Melissa's profile. Said 9 ball's her favorite, but 8 ball is actually her stronger game. So we'll see if they get into the 8 ball set, whether or not that makes any difference. Melissa plays out of Zingali's Billiards up there in Tallahassee. You probably know, you've heard of Zingali's. That's a big pool room up there in the Panhandle.
Yeah,
lots of tournaments and things go through there.
Yeah, it's been a pool room. It was another name for a long time. Snookers, I believe. Larry Knox owned it for many years, and it was a big place. And from what I remember, I think they changed locations a little bit after it became Zingali's, and I'm actually playing in a tournament there at the end of April.
Well, there you go.
They're having a really nice one-pocket bank pool and 9-ball event. Beautiful pool room.
Melissa's been playing pool 30 years, it says here. Long time.
Well, she started young then.
Sounds like you, right?
Yeah.
Started young. You were just telling me that. 17 years old, a young Jeremy Jones.
Yeah.
Now, when you say 17, is that like the first time you picked up a cue stick, or is that the first time you started playing competitively?
No, really. I'd play a game here and there, waiting on a lane at the bowling alley or whatever, but I had no clue about pool. I didn't know you could really play it well. I certainly didn't know you could play it for a living. Kind of thought it was just a fill your time, like I said, waiting on a bowling lane or something like that. I really had no clue, and the funny thing is, my father played just a little bit. Not a pool room kind of player, but a little bit of a banger, you say, but a guy who liked to play. But me and my younger brother, who ended up both starting at the same time, we used to hate having to wait on my dad to play a few more games of pool, so kind of ironic we both got into it later on. Nice shot there, coming back to the end rail with the cue ball. She was trying to get the snooker there, but one thing you can learn is she made sure she laid the cue ball on the rail just in case she didn't get the snooker. That always makes the shot tougher for your opponent. And now Melissa in a tough spot. She may try and run the cue ball off the 7 here, trying to come back behind the 8. We'll see.
Melissa plays with a Pierce custom cue with a Revo 12.4 shaft.
Okay, she's trying to lay the 7 up by the 8. Now is this new felt going to help her out? And it looks like it did, so pretty nice shot. Just talking about that the other day too, Jason, that when I started, I think there were like 10 or 15 cue makers. You could name them all. Now there's, got to be literally thousands in the U.S.
Wow.
It's amazing.
What are you playing with these days? A Q-Tech?
Yeah, I'm with
Q-Tech
Q-Tech.
all over your shirt?
Yeah. The product's awesome.
Q-Tech, I saw that nice Q-Tech bag you're hauling around. So.
I just got that.
Is that a new one for you, Q-Tech? You've been playing with them for a
Yeah,
while?
I started in September. I
Nice.
started playing with it right before a pandemic hit, and I loved it. Oh, great shot.
Oh.
Unfortunate roll for Lisa.
Good opportunity here for Melissa, though.
Yeah. And, you know, something to get yourself going here in game one. Yeah, they've been awesome. Q-Tech has been awesome, and the product's unreal.
I saw you brought a couple with you. You going to give a couple away?
Yeah, I'm going to give a
right.
couple.
Just remember your buddy Jason over here.
Well, you're not in the tournament, Jason, so I'd like, you know, we'll get you in the tournament one day, though, get you away from the booth.
I'd have to get some kind of like automatic entry to make this tournament.
You think?
This is a tough one. This is a
I
tough
know,
one.
I
These
know.
players,
Well, you just have to practice.
You know what's interesting, too? This is the first time ever, because of the pandemic, we had the multiple prelim windows, and apparently that was extremely popular. Players that couldn't get, you know, did not qualify through the first window came back into the second, and in some cases even a third where we were able to do it. So it's interesting how COVID has changed some things, and even some things for the better, I think.
Absolutely.
And so that's probably a change you'll see moving forward. I know we're still trying to determine what the you know, this will represent the U.S. Amateur for 2021. We won't do it again in November, but certainly in 2022. And I think they're trying to finalize some dates. We may end up leaving it in the spring, as opposed to the fall. And so, still some things to figure out as all the kind of pieces settle into place from all the COVID changes. But
well, trying something, you know, in an accidental way, of course, but trying some new things. Nothing wrong with that. And I do recall, I know some guys, like I said, that did qualify, and some guys that attempted to qualify, but they liked you know, they had a few more chances to take a chance of getting here.
Yeah. So Melissa's on the board first, leading 1-0 in this race to 5. This will be the second game of the 9-ball set. You can see they've opted to use that magic rack there. That is at the discretion of the two players at the table. Hello, Mr. Andrews, my buddy Richard Andrews. Pop by to say hello. Jeremy, what do you think of this new stream setup we got? This is pretty
nice,
sweet, right? They got us.
Yeah, did you build this yourself?
We moved up. No, this is my buddy Bill Tufts, our director of tournament productions. He's also a pretty good carpenter. He's put together this to keep us safe back here, and also to, you know, it just makes an impressive showing, I think, in the room. When you
I like it.
Look up here and see. So.
And it's solid, too.
Always trying to up the game here.
Well, a nice break by Melissa.
Remove that magic rack.
She's got a nice shot on the one.
What do you think of the magic rack? What do you think of those template racks?
You know, I mean, they're awesome in many ways.
Are they too consistent, though? Or
well, you know, at the higher levels, it just kind of makes the game a little too easy.
Yeah, too consistent, huh?
Yeah, just too predictable. You know, the break was a little bit more random when the game was devised. But, you know, you just have to, like golf, for instance, you know, they've done things to try and keep the integrity in the game or the difficulty in the game. So you just have to make smart decisions at certain levels, I think, with the template to keep, like I said, the game difficult. Because, I mean, you know, when you watch the best players in the world, you want to see them do special things, right?
Absolutely.
So,
again, if you're just tuning in, this is second round coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Lisa Cossette, the 2018 champion at the table, trailing 1-0 in this race to 5.
and this is a funny shot right there. I was wondering how much she wanted to really move the cue ball, considering she was kind of laid up next to the 7. Now, I don't believe we play all ball fouls here at the U.S. Amateurs, only cue ball fouls only, but anytime you're next to a ball, it just kind of hampers you. So a long shot on the 2. She's got to make a decision how she wants to move the cue ball. She'll go around the 9 or maybe back in between the 4 and the 5 with the cue ball. We'll see. Oh, nice stroke there.
I just realized, lost in all this pool action, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
happy
I just saw somebody walk by in a lot of green, and
yeah, I'm not sure I have my green on.
We failed to wear green. Carrie, you got any green on over there? No.
Does
Carrie?
cash count?
There you go. Yeah, I got some in my wallet.
There you go.
Maybe that'll cover us.
Well, like I said earlier, that what I noticed about Lisa a couple years ago is really, now I might have jinxed her right there, but really when it came to pocketing the balls, it looked like to me she was one of the best in the room. And they all are great at it, of course, but some just seem to hit the pocket a little differently than others.
Appreciate all you folks tuning in wherever you are. Hope you're having a great day on this March 17th, 2021. Man, the last 12 months have just kind of you know, the days went slow, but the year seemed to just kind of go quick, right? It's
Oh
one of
yeah.
those
Oh yeah.
early on. It was like,
Well,
man,
I know you're in your 30s somewhere. They're going a little quicker for me these days,
yeah.
anyways.
43, my friend.
43? Are
I
you
appreciate the
serious?
compliment, but
Wow.
43.
I wasn't even trying that either.
Yeah.
It was pretty honest effort there on the 30-something. Well, a nice stroke there. Now the cue ball is going to get down here a little difficult on the bottom rail. So Melissa's going to have to come with another tough shot for the upper right-hand corner.
Hello, Celeste Smith from Vegas. We're hoping to get out there in August for our first event out there. Vegas.
So that's still going to be the teams in August then?
So we moved the April event, the Pool Player Championships, which is actually mostly singles competition,
Right.
to August.
Oh, okay.
Smaller event.
And push the other one
And
back.
we pushed the other one just because we wanted to give it the best opportunity, right? Time was what we were looking for, buying time. And, you know, the way things are trending, I think they're both looking pretty good. I know there's a few big conferences slated to happen in Vegas in June.
So that'll
And
give
if
you a
they
good,
go off,
yeah.
I think that's a good sign for events in Vegas moving forward because, you know, those are big conferences. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed, nothing's final, but certainly more hopeful today than I was even back in January.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
absolutely.
Melissa is
Well, she's made a nice out here.
off to a strong start.
Yeah, the shot off the end rail there before the 7, she hit the center of the pocket, and she had to roll it at a lighter speed to hold position. So that tells you she's pretty comfortable. Now, a little bit, when you get close to the ball, you can get a little distorted on the aim, and that's what happened here.
no.
She's overcut it a little bit, but unfortunate miss. But she's got to be pretty happy overall the way she looks. Now, Lisa's going to get a bit of a cupcake here in game 2, but
Pockets at 9, evens up the score at 1-1. Again, race to 5. Shout out to our sponsors, our friends at Pool Dog, Action Cues, Valley Dynamo, and of course Aramith. All great sponsors. Appreciate all their support. Lisa will have the break here. I wanted to mention with Lisa, she plays out of the Smokin' Q back home. She said it's an amazing place. They've been my sponsor for years, and they've really helped shape the pool player that she is today. That's nice to say.
heck yeah.
Smokin' Q back
Now, is
there
that in the
North
Carolinas? Yeah, that's
you
what
been?
I was
You heard of
thinking.
that room,
Yeah,
Smokin'
yeah,
Q?
for
So
sure.
If anybody from the Smokin' Q is tuning in, shout out to you. And we appreciate you helping shape Lisa into the player she is today.
Yeah, and actually, I think a couple years ago, I just hit a few racks, like the Monday or Tuesday before the event with Lisa in here. Super nice lady as well. She's in a rollout position. Won't take any chances on the kick, I don't believe.
I'm going to try to do a better job looking at the comments, too. They always tell me, look at the comments, look at the comments. So somebody mentioned Brian Parks, and unfortunately, Brian, 5-time U.S. Amateur Champion, not here. Of course, California, one of the few states that really remains kind of shut down, and so he did not have a preliminary to try to qualify in. I don't know how much pool he's been able to play throughout all this, so few names not here this year, unfortunately, but hopefully next year, right? Hopefully by this time next year,
Yeah.
things looking much more normal. You can follow all the action in the tournament on the CompuSport, CompuSport.us, or you can download the CompuSport app. Hello, Phil Vaughn. Phil, one of our loyal Facebook followers, one of my favorite Facebook followers too. I love the folks that are always so positive on there. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of negative people out on the internet, so I like the positive people. I try to make note of them.
Well, you're pretty positive as well, and and pretty fun. Pretty entertaining guy watching on the stream, Jason. So
I appreciate
me and
that.
my wife talk about that all the time. Kind of perfect for you. Got that personality.
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
Okay, good shot there by Melissa, putting the 1 up the table, leaving things very difficult for Lisa. Lisa probably is going to just maybe move the 1 over by the 7 and bring the cue ball up what would be the right side of the table if you're looking at the screen. It looks like she's going on the other side. Cue ball is going to get away from her a little bit, and she's going to give Melissa a starter here. And a nice shot on the 1 to get on the 2, and you can kind of see the 3's near the 2, the 4's, you know, over the pocket, the 5's near, and now the 7-8 is going to be something to deal with later in the rack. But I wouldn't be surprised if she gets to that 7 here if she pockets the 1. She should run these, I would think. It's all about this first shot. It's amazing how the carbon fiber has taken over, huh, Jason? I was a stubborn guy for the carbon fiber.
You were a holdout, now you're a convert? Is that,
Yeah,
is that where
yeah.
we're going with this?
I love it. I love it. But I mean, it's just like, you know, years ago, I mean, it wasn't carbon fiber, obviously, but they had the fiberglass cues by different companies. And it, you know, if you're a pool player, it was just kind of like something you never even considered. It was always going to be that Canadian maple shaft in your hand. But I'll tell you what, you know, it's almost a Bugs Bunny-ish kind of thing. You can't beat them, you better join them. But the performance on the technology and cues today is just unreal.
Somebody was asking about one of the men's matches. I do believe on Friday we will have that Blake Baker Ernesto Bayawa match. I think that's a 3rd round on Friday, like a 1:30 match, I think. So
Oh, they drew each other first.
something to look
huh?
forward to. That's a heavy hitter match in the first round. You got a former champ going against a defending champ. So
Yeah.
that's something we'll be excited about for Friday. But currently we're focused on the ladies. Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Just out of the gate here, Strokers in Palm Harbor. Mentioned it earlier, but it's been so far just a gorgeous, gorgeous time here in Florida.
Excuse me, pretty perfect. Now, similar shot she buried in the first game, and she
Buried
does it again. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Tell you what, don't leave her long, full shot to have to roll in off the end rail. So we'll see. Like I said, she made a really nice run in the first game and then got a little on top of the 9 and overcut it. But I'll tell you, Melissa looks like a pretty darn good player to me. Now she's got to ease this in or maybe go up and down, maybe play short side on the 7. We'll see. She's close to it, so all are kind of managed. Oh, she got underneath it.
Question about whether we'll have an open amateur tournament around South Dakota, Wyoming area. That's an interesting question. We don't, one, I don't know that we have a lot of APA league activity in those. It's one of the few areas where we don't. But typically we don't do many open, you know, the U.S. Amateur Championship is the one exception of events that we run that's truly open to anybody that's not an APA member. Most of our events you have to, you know, be a member and then qualify to you know, if it's Vegas or.
Right.
But I'll never say never, right? Maybe there's the right person in that area ready to run an APA league and reach out to us.
Yeah, I went up to South Dakota and.
I know it's a hotbed for pool up there. I mean,
Yeah, they were.
Fargo billiards there. Is that now they
No,
closed
that-
down?
No,
in the
that's
pandemic?
open. I think that's
Okay.
in part. That's the big place in
Yeah.
Fargo. But I went up to hang out with Shane a little bit in October and late September, early October. Of course, did a little fishing, but yeah, there was a lot of pool going on. for
Shane
sure.
took you out on the lake. Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
ice fishing or is that normal?
Oh no,
fishing
it was
that time of
nice.
year?
It was nice. It was regular.
Nice.
Trying to get me to go do the ice. I don't know if that's going to ever happen, Jason.
I always
but
see pictures of him
I'm
fishing
not.
out there, and
I don't like the cold weather very much at
yeah, I'm with you there.
all. All right, a little safety. Oh, she overhit it a little bit. I think she was trying to lay the 7 underneath the 9. So now Lisa's going to have a great opportunity to take a lead here.
Yeah, this would be yet another kind of window of opportunity that opened for Lisa as the result of, small mistakes here. And sometimes that's the difference in these tight matches with these great players.
And you see, like Melissa, she really did most of the work in that rack, and it's just like the last rack, just a few things got away from her.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the Moscone Cup,
Yeah.
the margin of error so small sometimes. And while we got a break, I got to ask, Moscone Cup, this was not our year.
No, it's
tough year.
It was a tough year. I think, in a little defense, the match was much closer than the final score appeared.
Sure.
We lost a lot of hill matches. A few unfortunate things, but no excuses. The Euros just outplayed us.
Yeah, they looked good.
No matter who's there this coming year, captains or players or whatever, we've got to do a better job, of course. But a little bit of a blow, of course, losing one of your main men from up in the St. Louis area, Justin Bergman, right before the event.
Great player.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, and a guy that I think you may see something really special the next few years from. I talked to him a lot over during the pandemic, and he's just a guy that's super motivated. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Justin Bergman become a #1 player in the world.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah, I really believe that's possible. So
high praise from Double J.
Well, now
Mr. Bergman.
Melissa with a great opportunity.
She's got a chance, yeah. Scratch there on the break by Lisa.
And you find that sometimes with the amateur players to where, when they're consumed in running the rack, kind of like playing position keeps their attention. Keeps them focused, not worried about things, because they got a job at hand. But when sometimes they get, Jason, to the last couple balls, well, there's not near as much work left, and you can lose a little focus, believe it or not. So we'll see if Melissa can kind of shore those couple little mistakes up, because she's probably made more balls overall in the match than Lisa has, just not the yellow striped one.
Of course, this entire event played on 9-foot tables. No handicap utilized in this particular event. The only APA event, I shouldn't say the only, we do have the Masters Championship that also doesn't utilize the handicap system, but one of the few. Again, we are at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, and Melissa rattles that ball there.
Yeah, just caught it a little heavy going to the pocket. So now Lisa with a prime opportunity, 2 hanging, 3 over the side. She could play the 3 in the corner, we'll see. But the 4 is near, the 6 just across the table. So it's all about this first shot getting pretty handy from the 2 to the 3, and I think she'll probably clear the table.
My man John Blue tuning in from up in the Northwest. Always good to see your name, John, and we certainly appreciate the compliment there. It's it makes my job a lot easier when I got the best in the biz next to me, Jeremy, doing the play-by-play. So
yeah, she's gotten a little thin here, but she'll run the cue ball 3 cushions, and all about making the ball, of course, hitting that line with the cue ball. Could have used another foot or 2 out of the cue ball, but if she makes the 4, she should have a shot on the 6. And again, this is where I saw Lisa really excel when I saw her play really well. It's just getting down and knocking the ball in. That's pretty much the first part, most important part of the game. And she's overcut another. So maybe a little early jitters.
Yeah, and again, Lisa's out of North Carolina. I don't know how much she's been able. That's a state that had been shut down for quite a while. I know things have started to open back up there, which is great for pool players. But, we talked about it in the first round. The X factor this year is going to be who's been able to play, who have they been able to play in terms of competition. Have they been able to get on 9-foot tables? Really, some different variables this year that could play into your eventual champion. We shall see.
Yeah, and it's you don't even try to, but you just, as much as you take all those old cliches, the pressure and all that, you don't want to put pressure on yourself. But a lot of these people, this is the first big event they've played in quite some time. So, and it's one they all aspire to win. That's why they're here. Okay, is this 4 going to cooperate? No, it's going to leave a shot. Now she's got the cue ball on the end rail. So, of course, the 4 isn't hard to make, but moving the cue ball for position and also gaining an angle on the 6 is not easy. So she may end up shooting the 4 not only from some distance, but also the 6 here in a moment from some distance. Oh. And that all is because she was trying to get closer to the 6 ball with the cue ball. That's what created that miss.
I bring Melissa Durkin back to the table here, trailing by a game in this race to 5.
In the format, these ladies will play 6 games of 9 ball, since they chose 9 ball to begin with, and then finish up the match with 3 games of 8 ball, just depending on how many they'll need. But if it goes to the wire, okay.
Had a chance to see a lot of these ladies this morning at the registration and little photo shoot we did. They were all excited, pumped up about getting back on the table, so we love that excitement. Gets us excited. The men will start arriving tomorrow, and then we'll kick off the men's division on Friday through Sunday. 128 players qualified in that particular event. 48 players, I think, was the final number here for the ladies. I think there were 50 that qualified. I think we had 2 that ultimately could not make it down for whatever reason. Seems to be kind of common during the COVID era. You never know. It seems like, the sporting event kind of gets postponed here and there. You see hockey games.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, it doesn't take much for things to change, that's for sure.
So not that I know what their reason was for not coming down, but it just seems to kind of be the way it goes right now. And that's okay.
I think you've got a great turnout, and I've seen some of the men already here. Of course, some of them have ladies that are in the event, like Ernesto and Teresa, both playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I meant more of. See that straight shooting right there, and she's not afraid to put a little power into the cue, which is always a good sign.
Pockets at 8, great position on the 9. She's going to take a 3-1 lead. We'll see one more game of 9 ball before we switch over to the 8 ball set.
Or maybe 2, I think, right? It's 6 games of 9 ball, right?
5 games of 9 ball, 3 games 8 ball.
Oh, I thought, no, it has to be the other.
Right?
I think it's 6. I think
5 and 3?
6.
3 and 6.
Yeah.
You're right.
Just in case it goes 4-4, we need another game in there.
Yeah. Math is never my strong
well,
suit.
actually,
that's how I found this job.
I corrected myself earlier in the same situation. That's the only reason I know.
It's been a while for us too, You're a
little out of stroke, are you, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's allowed.
A few technical hiccups in the first round, and just kind of all getting back into the flow of things. But it's nice to get back into that flow. Man, you think about where we were this time last year.
Yeah.
I think you and I were doing a live stream where we were just talking about whatever we could think of, There just wasn't a whole lot going on. We were all stuck at home.
Well, I was in Vegas during the week, the world changed there.
Yeah.
Because we had the Las Vegas, the Diamond tournament, and then we had the Predator World 10 Ball the following week. So all the top players were there for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden, everything got canceled. The entire world changed. I was actually watching a show the other day about that week when, all the conference championships in the middle of one game, they quit it, decided, hey, we're not going to have March Madness, all that. And now this week, that starts tomorrow. March Madness. I'm sure you keep up with that a little bit.
My Gators qualified for the tournament. I don't have a lot of high hopes for them this year, to be honest, though.
They're decent, though. I actually watched them a little bit this year, a couple little games, a couple games.
We'll see. Anything can happen in March, right?
I'm pretty happy. Not only are my Houston Cougars, because I grew up with Phi Slama Jama, and Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon, but they're a number 2 seed this year. Really great team. And then where I live, Denton, Texas, we have North Texas University, which I can't even remember the last time they were in the tournament, but they won their conference this year, so they play tomorrow. So pretty impressed with those. You know, Houston's not a small school, but North Texas isn't super big. But pretty neat to make the tournament.
Absolutely.
Well, fortunate miss there, just rubbing that ball going in. So now Melissa's going to have to kick at this one. Now, a lot of times you kick at the ball, you know, you kick towards the pocket to where the one's nearest, and I understand that. But sometimes you have to consider the hit is very important. Watch out for the scratch. Okay, nice hit. She could have kicked, you know, very close to the one on the opposite side and guaranteed the hit a little bit more, but completely understand she was trying to make it. Well, not an easy shot by any means, but one that if she can roll in, she can hold for the two. And again, ball's pretty open. Lisa definitely capable, if she can get this one down, of clearing the table and maybe getting to the hill quickly. Big shot here. She'll just kind of smooth it down. Oh, perfect. Wow, she's overrunning a little bit. These tables do, I mean, like you said, it's been 2 weeks, but you can see they're in perfect condition, really.
Well, Jose Del Rio, the owner here at Strokers, he's a pool player himself. In fact, he's qualified for the men's division, actually. So we'll see him. Talk about a tough assignment. You got to make sure things are running smooth here at the location, and then you got to, you know, play in the tournament as well. That's a tough double duty. But
I think I'm having a little deja vu. I think he was also in it in 19, right?
Well, he's been in it a number of years. He's a great local player here in Tampa area. So obviously he's, you know, oversees all the table conditions, make sure that they are as
they look great.
good as they can be.
Playing on a beautiful Brunswick Gold Crown 4 here for the TV table. Now this hit here, watch out for the 9. If she catches the bottom of the 2 here, the cue ball will go into the 9. Okay, she hit it right on the head, so not much movement on the 9, but now Melissa's got to get going a little bit here.
There's my man Brian Parks popping in there. Hope you're doing well, Brian. We miss you here this year, or will miss you.
Yeah, he's probably chomping at the bit.
I'm sure.
Knowing he's not going to be here, but I think he's still in Bakersfield. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Great shot. And this is what I've seen from Melissa. She's really looked good. I mean, she's just had a couple mistakes towards the end of the rack to cause this 2-game deficit. But like I said before, I think she may have pocketed just as many balls, if not more, than Lisa in this match. Now, this may get behind the 8. It's going to be close. And it's amazing you have all that space, right? And just, it seems like just never fails. Easy to get behind one ball. Now, she could jump it, try and cut it in. Kick shot's not too tough, kicking to the top rail and coming in between the 6-7 with the cue ball, trying to pocket the 4 in the side.
Have you been playing a lot of tournaments yourself? Have you been able to play at all? No,
I've been around a pool table every day,
Yeah.
8 hours a day. It
Just
seems
doing
like
teaching, though.
Just teaching,
Yeah.
yeah. And I haven't played. I actually hit a few balls with a mutual friend of ours, Andrew Cleary, yesterday, and man, I need to practice, Jason. But that's okay. I'm going to play a little bit this year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Well, I heard you mention you were playing that tournament at Zengali,
Yeah.
so I was wondering if you've been hitting any balls.
Not a whole lot, but I'm going to get prepared for that, and then I'll play the U.S. Open later in the year, and from that, I don't know, probably a couple big one-pocket events, and mainly just a lot of teaching. So here now, great opportunity
Somebody
for Lisa.
asking about the score on table 10. I'll see if
10. Let's
see
see.
if I can get a score from over there. We'll see.
Work your magic. You got people all over the room, I'm sure, Jason. So, all right, should draw the cue ball out a little bit. No reason to get too much angle on the 6.
I can't see.
Okay, that
table
should
10
work
from
good.
here.
Yeah, it's against the back wall there. It's all the way.
We'll see what we can do. We'll
Yeah,
try to
absolutely.
fulfill that request if we can.
Okay, better with the speed there. I actually ended up a little light. thought she hit it with plenty of speed to get a little more heavy shot, a little less angle on the 7. But again, this moves her towards the 8 pretty easily with the cue ball, so all about pocketing the 7. And there's nothing worse than being around one of these tournaments that makes you want to play, Jason, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
brought
sure.
that up, and now I'm thinking about, man, I'd like to be hitting some balls right now.
I'm sure these players, when they're not playing in this tournament, will find somewhere here in the area to be playing.
Oh, yeah.
If I know pool players, so.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of the guys that are playing in the event this week that had just gotten in town and hit me up and asking me, hey, where's the places to go play, because they know this place is going to be consumed with the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I know. Do you know if Crooked Q is still around?
Yeah,
that's
actually
a
went
nice
by there
place.
yesterday. There's a couple of those sticks that are really nice. Family Billiards is decent over there.
Brulin's
Yeah.
is in Tampa, so there's some really great places to play pool here in
Yeah,
the
great
Tampa
shot
area
there.
on both sides of the bay. What about Hammerheads? Is that still around?
I would
Hammerheads?
think so. That's in
That was a nice
Tampa.
place, yeah.
That was a place I went to years ago.
I don't know if Hammerheads is still around or not. I haven't heard of that. Anybody talk about it much in the last few years?
Ooh. So it's been the overcut on almost every miss that Lisa's had. She's only had a few, but it's been a consistent just overcutting the ball a little bit. And I'll tell you what that comes from sometimes, Jason. When you're used to your room and maybe the felt's a little older, or maybe the balls aren't, been cleaned as much. Well, they don't cut so easy, and now we are like premium conditions here. The table's pretty new felt. The weather's perfect. The balls have been cleaned, preparing for this tournament, so they cut a bit easier. So maybe something to do with that. It could be a little bit of nerves too, right?
Well, Melissa's pulled within 1 here, and Hammerheads is no longer around, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sad to hear that. Been closed for a while, though. I don't think that's related to the last 12 months or so. But
Right.
man, there's a lot of places over the last 12 months, unfortunately, have closed down. Given everything that's happened. But hopefully that means opportunity in the future for new places to come up. So.
And Hammerhead's had a long life, so I think it was around.
Capone's, that's another one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Capone's.
Capone's the big one here in
That's
the
still
area,
that's
too.
Spring Hill.
Yeah, a little further
about-
north. Yeah.
North or south?
I think
North.
Spring
No,
Hill's north of where
you're
we
right.
are, yeah.
North. No, you're right. I think it's right in an hour, straight down 19, I believe, pretty much. No, Rocky over there, he owns a really, really nice pool room. It's a pretty common thing around here too. If you don't have pretty darn good food, your pool room's going to suffer. That's something that's found at most all these places. They really have good food, good
Yeah,
restaurant business.
I've been in some pool rooms with some really bad food.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This is quite the contrast. In fact, at some point we might need to think about some food here.
Yeah. And when we were having a little technical difficulties, I ordered a little salad, but
Nice.
so I got it waiting on me.
Well, 9-ball tournament at 8 tonight at Capone's.
Oh, there you go.
Not hard to find a game if you're looking.
Yeah, and what I found, and I just went to Houston for a week of some teaching, and I did a clinic with the APA Galveston down there, and I went to some pool rooms that I hadn't been to in a while, of course, because I stayed home quite a bit as well, not going to pool rooms even in Dallas
Yeah.
for quite some time. But what I was getting at is I was very impressed with a lot of them that they took time during the pandemic to really redo their pool room, clean it from top to bottom. A lot of them changed from, if they were smoking to non-smoking, which I really liked.
I think Jose has changed. I don't know if that was during the pandemic that they did away with. Of course,
They used
smoking
to-
has never been allowed during the
the
USAM.
tournament, yeah.
But normally they did have smoking in here, and I don't know how long it's been since he did away with that. I don't know if that was the last 12 months or so, but always a nice change, even if you're a smoker. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no,
kind of nice
absolutely.
to
Absolutely. But I walked in a few of those pool rooms that I'd been in for many years back in Houston, of course, being from Houston originally, but I live in the Dallas area now the last 10 years. And man, I walked in and it was just refreshing to see them put in so much effort into their place while they have the time.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Been a
I
tough
think it's going to
time
reap
for
rewards for it too, you know.
been a tough time for a lot of pool rooms, bars, restaurants. No doubt about it.
All right, so a long shot here on the 2, but again, you can see everything down on this end of the table. So if she can get this 2 down, 3 over the side, the 4 is near, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not too far from each other. So after this, there shouldn't be too many long shots if she can bury this one. Nice shot. And now she's really even made things easier. As far as the 6 was a little bit of an issue above the 9. Now she's bumped that over by another pocket. So I think Lisa, as long as she can keep her nerves in check, should clear this table. She needs a little angle, not a lot. She got a little more than she probably wanted. Should still be able to roll this in and hold for the 5 in the same corner. Yeah, I see a few of the St. Patty's Day hats now.
Yeah.
That's a nice shot.
If you're just joining us, you're seeing live coverage of this year's Women's U.S. Amateur Championship.
Oh.
Strokers in
Wow.
Palm Harbor, Florida. Second round action here.
Yeah, very unexpected miss there from Lisa.
Lisa Cossette, Melissa Durkin in the final game of the 9-ball set. We'll switch over to 8-ball after this game.
We'll probably cut the field down to about 16 today. Is that what you're thinking, Jason? Somewhere around there? Maybe half the field today because we finish tomorrow, right, for the ladies? Yeah.
You're talking bracketology. Look at that.
Yeah,
Playing bracketology in March. You can go over to the CompuSport app and take a look at who plays who and when. CompuSport.us, or you can actually download the app. Follow your favorite player there. I think we've probably got that pinned somewhere here in the comments.
Pretty perfect speed there from Melissa. And now she's just got to maybe stop the cue ball or pinch the cue ball back with a little bit of draw, but looking to tie this match at 3 now.
Looks to be in good shape to do that.
Yeah, so we're going to see some of the 8-ball, which I think in the first match here on the stream table, of course, we had some technical issues, but I think they only saw
one game.
One game of 8-ball, I think it was.
5-2 that first race. Melissa ties it up at 3. Add a few more balls to the table there, and we will start the 8-ball set tied. Good opportunity to mention if you're looking for a new career, you're looking for something different, maybe unfortunately you weren't able to keep your job through the pandemic, always an opportunity to run an APA league. Do have some great markets still available, not a lot of them, I'll be honest. There's a league in just about every county of the United States, but there are a few out there. So if you go to our website, take a look at that, find out what being a league operator is all about. I will tell you this, it is no easy gig. But if you love pool and you love to talk to people and you love to organize things and kind of be in charge, maybe it's for you. Check that out.
All right, she's made a strike. We talked about the rules earlier. Just take what you make if you only make one of them. So Melissa will be stripes here, only make pocketing one stripe. But hey, I'll tell you what, both the stripes and the solids and the stripes actually look a little bit better than the solids, just because that little cluster by the side pocket that we're looking right at right now, and so is Melissa. The 6 and the 14. So it should be something like probably take the 14 away. The 9's a little bit of an issue as well. And come down and get these 2 stripes, the 12 and the 13 next, and then come back down table and deal with the 11, 10, and 9 last. Something like that, I think. Well, she wanted to get all the way across. Now she's going to have a little bit more of an issue. She's going to have to probably take the 10 on. She does have a shot on the 9 as well. Not the worst time to take the 9, because she's got a pretty clean shot, and the good thing about it is she's got options afterwards. So she has to have a little concern for the cue ball, but not a ton. Maybe come back into the pink or something like that. Well, she missed it thick.
Yeah, one of the things I mentioned early at the outset of this match, Jeremy, is one of the things that Melissa told us is that while she really likes playing 9-ball more, she does believe 8-ball is her stronger game. So we'll see. She coming on strong at the end of that 9-ball set. See if that carries over into the 8-ball. And
yeah, she probably plays quite a bit of it in league pool and competition back home. So easy to get those stats and get your results and see that, hey, I just win a little bit more at 8-ball than I do 9.
Got APA President Greg Fletcher running around trying to solve our technical issues. Getting his hands dirty for us here. Boy, you talk about a guy that's had a heck of a year. He became president at the beginning of 2020 of APA, and man, what a tough first year for him. So
right,
appreciate him being here, and like I said, getting his hands dirty, helping us figure out some technical issues. Greg's always willing to help out wherever he's got to do it.
So
as he stands over my shoulder.
So I think we're good.
Good.
I gotta run.
All right, Melissa's got to have a pretty dead set plan here, because she's got a 13 ball up the table that is some trouble. She's got a nice shot on the 11, but kind of straight, Jason. Now, is that going to make the cue ball move very easily, or else she's going to have to force it around the table a little bit? We'll see some of that 8-ball knowledge that I'm sure she was talking about.
Yeah. Question about Tina Larson. Tina did win her first match 5-2 in the first round. She was on the stream table. Unfortunately, we were having some technical issues, so we couldn't bring you that match, or at least very much of that match. But, of course, you can follow Tina as well as any of the other players in the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship at CompuSport.us.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to try and play the 10 and the side off the 6, and then try and move the cue ball down the table for either the 12 or the 13, most likely the 12. So I believe she's left a shot for Lisa on the 7, a pretty easy shot on the 7 in the corner. She'll follow up and probably take the 1 away. She might leave the 1 for later, we'll see, because it does kind of serve as a blocker a little bit for that 13. So that's kind of a form of insurance, you might say, Jason. A little security, knowing maybe your opponent can't run out. But to get on the 2, and it looks like to do the pattern how you probably would want, you'd go ahead and peel the 1 off now, hold for the 2, take the 6 away, and then come for those last 3 solids down the table near the 8. So she's got to hit this light now. It's real close to overrunning the 2 there. We'll see. Okay, now she may have to put a little side spin to avoid contacting the 13 with the cue ball. Yeah, that's the problem. Now she's got a long shot, and the only one she's really got is the 5. But this is, like I said, this is where she excelled, in my opinion. And I wouldn't say over some of the other ladies. It was just what I think is her strong suit.
Right.
Really getting down and knocking the balls in.
Questions about the men's event. The men's event actually begins on Friday. Got 2 days of competition here for the women's division, and then the men will kick off Friday. Of course, we'll be bringing you live coverage throughout both events, all the way through till Sunday night when we crown a champion in the men's division. Curious to see if we'll have a new champion this year, a repeat champion, maybe a former champion stepping up and winning another title. I think we said we had, how many former champions? You remember? 6? I know Ernesto is here. I think Jason Richko is one that's qualified.
Blake will be back.
Blake obviously here to defend his title. Fewer though, fewer than in the past. I know Robert Hall will be here. David Rowell, that's 5.
David Rao, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yep, former champion. So
Well, he's a guy that improved a lot through the years. I've known David now for 20 years maybe.
on the ladies' side, of course, we were watching Lisa, former champion. I saw Stacy Barbeau this morning, also a former champion. So a lot of talent represented in this year's event.
I kind of like the shot she was looking at to begin with, which was the 10 off the rail, trying to barely kiss the 6 and make the 10 in the corner. And the reason is, if you bump the 6 over, wow, she barely missed the 6. But you notice how now she's made the 6 very difficult for Lisa. So it was a little bit of a shot you might make 30% of the time, 20% of the time, but there was some other thoughts in mind whenever she was shooting that shot as well, to make, like I said, things very difficult on Lisa, because this is 3-3. They want to be the player to get to the hill first. So she'd like to use the 3 in the side to play shape on the 6 later. So it'd be something like the 5 and then the 4 hopefully, and then use the 3 to carry the cue ball down table to get to the back side of the 6 somehow. But she could do it off of one of the other balls as well. The 3 in the side just looks like the one that's the easiest. So it should be like the 5. She's got a little angle. If she could get on the 4 now, that would be ideal. Well, is she going to get a little fortunate covering up the 10 here? Wow, nice roll there. She was definitely going to give up a shot to Melissa, but now Melissa's got to think of something else. It seems to me that overall the players have gotten a little more of the younger ones involved this year to me, Jason. I haven't been here every year for the U.S. Amateurs, but do a lot with the juniors, or try to, and I love to see it when the game's getting younger, and even if it's on the amateur side as well.
Well,
really
you look
like
back
it.
at the last couple of years, I mean, especially in the men's division, you go back, we mentioned Blake Baker, the defending champ in the men's division, but the year prior, Abe Shade, another young guy out of Peoria. I don't know if Abe tried to qualify this year, or didn't, but he's not here this year. But like you said, a lot of young, and both those guys came in for the first time and won this event, which is rare. I mean, that's not something we've typically seen in the past, but kind of an indicator that there is a good young, fresh crop of talented players coming up through the system, and I know that's good. Not only for amateur pool, but eventually good for you and in the Moscone Cup. I mean, I know you guys are
pool period
looking for young talent. Chris Robinson is the guy that came up this year and
played great.
Really stepped up at the Moscone Cup. I know there was some question about whether he should be there or not, but he was probably your second best player in the event, right? I mean,
I think statistically he was third best in the tournament
overall
for
wow.
both teams.
Well, good for
I'm
him.
talking about for both teams,
That's
not
impressive.
just not just the Americans.
So I think he quieted any critics there for sure.
Yeah, I think if you were around it, you could see Chris trending in the right direction, and you know, if it wasn't last year, you could see him definitely making a team
Yeah.
or many teams in the future.
That's a guy that had played some APA. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's always good. Skylar Woodward, another guy that had played some APA in his younger years. And
Well, it's a numbers game is
So,
all it is. The
yeah.
more we can get out there, the better it's going to be for the game, and definitely influence the professional side of American pool.
yeah. We need all the help we can get, man.
Yeah,
Team Europe,
absolutely.
I tell you what, Jeremy, watching the Mosconi Cup, I thought, man, they look as formidable as they have in years. I mean, they just look strong. I thought, wow, we got our work cut out for us. But
Yeah, that's what you want.
that's right.
There's a few sayings I can't say right here on the air, but, you know, we don't want it soft, that's for sure.
Yeah. You got any indication about whether the Cup's coming to the States this year or not? Do they know that yet? Do you know that? You may not know that. They may
No,
not
I
know
mean,
that.
there's nothing said as far as,
Yeah.
you know, nothing in stone as far as the captains and different things just yet. The one thing I do know, because we have spoken, of course, that they've expressed is, you know, they really, really want the fans. So that'll, I think, influence the location of the Mosconi along with the pandemic. So,
Be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, typically this would be a year where they would come to the States, but
Yeah.
like you said, the fans are, in a lot of ways, what makes that event what it is and so unique.
yeah, and I
So to
don't.
take them out of the equation has been, you know, difficult.
Yeah, and if, you know, you can't have them here, you know, what's kind of, I don't want to say what's the point, but, you know, it's not a big deal if you have it somewhere else where there is fans. It's almost worth it, you know.
Sure.
So if you can't have them here, I don't think America will you know, make too much of an argument. Hey, it should be here. It should be here. Well, if we can't have our fans, we're
Right.
just filming anyways.
Yeah.
I'd rather be somewhere where the fans are.
Absolutely.
And whether I'm the captain or not, or involved, whatever it is, I truly believe that the fans actually, I like our chances better with the fans.
Sure.
I think the guys have gotten used to that and really kind of relish it. So
Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that in late November, early December, I'm in Vegas watching
That's
you guys.
right.
That's what I'm hoping for.
yeah, well, they came out with some dates, you know, and
Did they announce the dates
yeah,
now?
well, these days dates can change, but
Yeah.
December 6th through the 9th, I
Okay,
believe.
so a little bit later in
Yeah.
December than normal, but not much. Maybe
Not
what,
much.
like just a few days?
Yeah, it's usually,
that
of course,
first
last
week.
time it was in America, it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Right,
And it was
right.
awesome, actually. It turned out great.
Bet you never had a turkey taste so good.
I
did
know. It was right there, and I was very impressed with the little turkey dinner we got
Nice.
after, to be honest with you. The stuffing was a little different from what I'm used to, but other than that, everything was really good. So Lisa in a really difficult position here. She's wondering, you know, what's the situation. She doesn't have a great starting shot, first off. And the dilemma is Melissa has a 12 ball hanging, so very difficult to play safe there. So she's going to take on this bank, I believe. Now she needs to try and draw some shape. Okay, so see what she was doing there? She was so worried about not giving up the 10 first, because you see the 12 leads to the 8 ball for Melissa very easily. So if she could at least make Melissa make the 12 first and have to get from the 10 to the 8. So that was in the back of Lisa's mind right there.
Yeah.
Not wanting to give up that 10 first for Melissa. And I completely understand that. Now Melissa knows the same problem. That's why she's really entertaining possibly banking at the 10 instead of shooting the 12 first, because getting from the 10 to the, not only getting position on the 12 to the 10 is difficult, but then also expecting to be able to get all the way back down table for the 8, man, that's another story. So you may see her trying to take on this bank. Well, she's actually going to try and play safe. She's going to just try and tickle the 10 a little bit and bring it up to
Oh.
yeah, pretty
Nice.
effective, pretty decent. She did leave her a little bit on the 5, but she kept the 6 tied up to where the 6 doesn't have a pocket for Lisa. So pretty smart shot. And not one you see very often when your opponent has, you know, four of their balls on the table and you only have 2. You see a lot of those safeties when your opponent only has 1 on the table and you have an entire army of 5 or 6 stripes or whatever it may be, but you don't see it in this situation very often.
Let's see if she can navigate a path here.
I think she can get to it for the lower corner. So that'll carry her to the 4 ball.
Got it.
Great shot. Now she's going to have to use the 3 to get on the 6 and then all the way back down again like we talked about earlier on the 8. So a lot of work still. But this game, as much as the winning game, this gives you 2 chances to win the match, whoever gets on the hill first. Huge game. Okay. She's going to get a little straight for the corner, not going to make it easy to move the cue ball to the 6, so she may take on the thin cut in the side here, Jason. Trying to kind of create something getting on the 6. You can see very straight angle or straight-ish angle on the 3 in the corner. So she could go forward for the 3 in the corner and take on the bank on the 6, but again, how do you get back for position on the 8, taking on the bank? So I think that's about all she has, though. So she should come up to the end rail.
Oh.
Well, she tried to force
She
it a
gonna get
little
lucky?
bit. She may be.
Nope, not quite.
Still did all right, though, as far as like, of course, she's leaving the 12 ball shot, but still difficult for Melissa to get out completely. Got to do a lot of work.
Jason Craig, unfortunately, I did not get any update on table 10. I'm sorry. It's obviously a little tough for me to leave the booth here, but if I get any updates, I will pass those along. But your best bet is to follow along on the CompuSport.us website, or you can download the app, track your players, your favorite player that way.
Okay, so she's going to shoot the 12, and she's going to try and get on this long rail, kind of over that right side pocket-ish, like right there where she's going. She's absolutely got
Look
perfect.
At that. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Now she's got an angle to move the cue ball 2 cushions back down table, so couldn't place it with your hand really any better there, Jason.
She gets this. It'll be well earned.
She's got to let the stroke out a little bit. She could use a hair more angle, but still enough to move the ball. It's going to have to go. She's a little upset with that probably, but I think she's going to take on this thin cut. Because really the bank is covered up by the 6. She could bank it back where she's standing, but very difficult. I really like her trying to cut at it.
If you're just joining the fun here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, you're watching second round coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Just got underway first thing this morning, 11:30. I shouldn't say first thing, late in the morning. Melissa Durkin here shooting on the 8 ball. Just can't quite get it to go. I'm going to bring Lisa Cossette back to the table.
Well, Lisa's got some work. She's got a nice shot on the 3, but you can see the distance from the 3 to the 6 and then having to come back down table off the 6 to the 8. So don't think her to play safe here. I mean, that's always an option in this situation. She could just bump the 6 and lay the cue ball behind the 6, but that's what makes these ladies become really good players, is staying aggressive. Okay, now she's going to have to make another good shot on the 6. She probably won't try to come all the way back down here, Jason. She'll probably follow the cue ball here, try to get just beyond the head string there and take the little cut shot on the 8. Here, if you try to jam this ball and get all the way back down, not only is it not needed, but you miss the ball a lot of times. Well, she hit that really well. But you see how she just barely went past the head string there? And that's what you do. You got to take a little sacrifice there to give yourself a little more guarantee on getting that shot on the 8. Watch out for the corner.
Yeah.
Watch out for the corner up the table. All right, nice shot.
So Lisa Cossette now on the hill, needs just one game in this race to 5. She's really done a good job of capitalizing when the opportunities have been there in this match. You know, it's kind of been a razor-thin margin between these two, but it seems like every time there's an opportunity, Lisa seizes on it, and that's the difference, at least right now, 4-3.
And then both the ladies, they're only going to get more comfortable as the tournament goes along. But
yeah, if you're looking for some new APA gear, you
go.
can jump over to the poolplayers.com store. Lots of T-shirts, jackets, hats, all kinds of stuff available there for purchase. Double J, Rob says you are the best pool commentator ever.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Not just now, ever.
Ever, huh? That's good stuff.
We appreciate the kudos, Rob. I know Jeremy appreciates it. Of course, we love to be able to bring you guys this coverage. More so now than ever, believe me.
Yeah.
It's been a long tournament layoff. Of course, the last big tournament we had, Jeremy, November 2019, right here in Strokers. I mean, that was it. Got into the first quarter last year, and not much. We did a number of live streams throughout the pandemic, but nothing's the same as great tournament action, right?
Yeah,
it's just not the same. Interviews are fun and all that good stuff, but nothing beats watching a just really outstanding competition.
Yeah, and the tension will heighten as the week goes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody's just kind of settling in, you know, these early rounds, kind of getting a feel for the tables. And
well, they don't know what
they
don't really know what to expect from themselves. Really, truthfully, you know, you can do it, but none of us have gone through what the last 12 months has given us, and I don't think, anyways. I don't think that's ever been a thing in our world before. So.
Not unless you were around about 100 years ago.
Right.
And there's a few of them. You know, crazy thing is, there's a few of them that are still around. That, you know, 1918.
Yeah, but with the way the world is now, though, is you know, the communication factor and knowing what's going on around the world with everything, and you know, getting daily updates on the numbers on cases and this and that. So.
It's like information overload to some degree.
I agree.
You can get kind of obsessed with that stuff, and I can testify to that. It's constantly looking, and we got a bathroom break here.
I think a little bit of a break.
Quick
for sure.
break. Let's. We got some video we can roll. Maybe give us just a momentary break ourselves. We'll be right back. Come from all walks of life.
Different backgrounds.
Different abilities.
We all have different reasons for doing what we do.
But we're all one.
One love.
One passion. One big family.
We are
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
And this is our league.
All right, quick break for the ladies, and we're back. Again, Lisa is now on the hill, needs just one game to secure the victory in this second round.
Check cue ball. So we'll get to see a little bit of that 8-ball prowess from Melissa here, because she's going to need it. It's 4-3. And you know, it's weird. You know, she's played really well, actually. She's just had a few mistakes at the end of the rack. So expect both these ladies to, no matter win or loss, to continue on the tournament and probably make a pretty deep run, both of them. But
this is a double elimination tournament
right
up until the final round. Final round is single elimination, but an extended race.
So I like that format. I like the single race in the final. A lot of people say, well, this person lost. And, well, if you both know ahead of time that it's a single.
Yeah, it's the same rules for everybody.
That's right. It's a tricky rack. She'd like to take the solids, I think, and just try and open the 2-ball up, but we'll see. The reason being is there's the 2 stripes there. I think it's the 13 and the 10, is it? Maybe the 14 there. I think it's 13 and 10. There's not really a ball near that to open the balls up with, and no guarantees if you do open them. At least if you shoot what would be the 5 and kind of open up the 2, then you have the 1 ball to play off of next. Still difficult though. So she's going to look at taking the pink 4. Looks like she's going to follow down. I don't think the 2 goes in the lower right-hand corner, so I think she's going to follow down and try and get an angle on the 5 in the side. I think she wanted to go a little more than that. See her shake her head a little bit. So she wanted to go carry down another 7 or 8, 10 inches or something and cut the 5 in the side and really give her a chance to open up the 2. But now she's going to have to wait on that and go on to the 1 ball and the 3 and the 6, but still going to have some problems later in the rack with that 5 and 2. So we'll see what she can do with it.
See some of the tables in the playing area opening up. This match is one of those matches that appears like it's going to go the distance.
Well, missed there now, and doesn't appear leaving anything easy for Lisa. Now, the one thing Lisa will make sure of is she doesn't want to open that 5 and 2 somehow. Wants to make sure she doesn't take any chance of that happening. That way, the way the solids lay is much easier than the stripes right now. We'll see how she plays it. Probably just maybe a soft roll on the 11. I'm not really sure what else she has, Jason. Melissa's really kept the options pretty limited for Lisa. Now, one thing about rolling on the 11, maybe she's shooting the 15 instead. She's got to be careful not to scratch. Okay, nice shot. And she was trying to make that, but that was more about not doing too much of anything else. You know, don't disrupt anything. Let me get a ball open. Now you'll notice the 5 doesn't go by the 15 in the corner either, maybe. So even though she missed, she did a little something with that shot, that being Lisa. So Melissa's got a lot to deal with here.
A combo there. Question about what determines which matches are streamed. That kind of varies. I mean, typically you're going to see former champions, defending champions get some preferential treatment with that.
And deservedly so.
You know, veterans of the USAM, you know, known players that folks want to see. And, you know, and then sometimes just newcomers that are hot, you know, that we take note of in the tournament that are playing really well. I was thinking back a couple years ago. Remember, I think his name's Jacob Watson. You know Jacob? Isn't that the kind of smaller guy with the red hair?
Yeah.
He
plays
he
good,
kind of
too.
came out of nowhere and was just tearing it up. And so
Yeah.
you start tearing it up, you find the stream table eventually. So you just got to
Yeah.
kind of keep winning, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to be on the stream table, keep winning. That's your best bet.
You know what some might consider the known premium matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing about pool, which is a good thing, but sometimes you have some of those unknowns coming up. It's hard to know that, hey, man, this is going to be the guy that wins the tournament this year. We should have him on the stream. But you quickly find it out as a couple days go along.
Well, that's like, I was talking to the defending champ in the men's division, Blake Baker, about it a couple weeks ago ahead of coming down here. I said, I went back and watched your matches, and we didn't have many matches of him until like the last day when I think we streamed 3 of his because he was kind of an unknown, at least to us coming in, and that's just kind of the way it goes. You kind of earn some street cred, and suddenly you find yourself on the stream table. So there's no real formula there. It's just kind of the tournament directors consult with us about what we think looks best and pick a match, and there we go. So.
Very difficult situation for Melissa. She's over the 12, can't get to the 2. I think the 8's in the way of the 7. Maybe she's considering a kick shot on the 7, which is a makeable shot, but then again, what kind of future are you looking at for the 2? So, in my opinion, this game is going to be in Lisa's hands here in a moment. We'll see how she deals with it, but I think it'll be in her hands to win, possibly. And that's just how 8-ball goes sometimes. You just, you make a ball on the break and you get stuck with just a tough run out, and it's just sometimes you can overcome it and sometimes you can't.
You play a lot of 8-ball these days? Hardly ever, I guess?
Not as much
much
anymore.
Yeah.
I wish we'd go back to a little more of it every now and again, but
you don't see a lot of at least at your level, you don't see a lot of 8-ball events.
We used to have 1 or 2.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh.
We used to have the World 10-ball, or the World 8-ball, excuse me, and now they do have the U.S. Open 8-ball that's played.
All right, so she drops Lisa's ball in the corner there.
Yeah, and Lisa's in a great spot. I believe both those stripes near the 2 go in that what would be the lower right part of your screen, that corner pocket where she's standing right now. And then all she's got to do is take off the 12 in the side and come up for the 11 and 14. So
somebody's asking why the women only race to 5 and the men race to 7. The primary reason for that is the average amount of time it takes for a ladies match. When the U.S. Amateur added the women's division early on, it was a race to 7. Unfortunately, just the matches ran too long and the event could not be completed in the amount of time it needed to be. So they had to make some adjustments, and that was making for a shorter race. Because you do have to fit the event in a certain amount of days.
Yeah, I thought she would take the other ball first here and just come up for the 11, but this is all right. She can just hold for the 12 on the side and then take on, I believe, is that the 10 that's connected to the 2 ball there, I believe. So she won't want to wait on that too long. So I think she'll cue downward on this 12 on the side and kind of pinch the cue ball back with a little draw. I believe so anyways. She may have gotten too much draw, so now she's a little thin. She's a little thin on the 10, so she may have to change her plan here. And maybe it doesn't go by that ball in the corner. It's hard to tell sometimes.
The ladies play up to 6 games of 9-ball, 3 games of 8-ball in this format. Somebody did ask that question. And the format they start in is determined by, well, it depends. We've got the coin flip this year, no lag. The winner of the coin flip chooses either the break or the format. So if they take the break, then their opponent gets to choose the format. If they win the coin toss and they want to pick the format, their opponent gets the break. So
pretty fair, I would say. Now,
Travis, we are hyped too, buddy. Said watching this makes me hyped for Vegas in August and October. I think we can all relate to that one. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
But when I
You're
see
good.
hyped, I'm like, yep, I feel
Yeah.
that too. I'm feeling that too. It's good to be back in action here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lisa's going to do here. Now, still, she's got a difficult two ball for her opponent. So she's going to play more of a conservative route. Looks like she's cutting it in the lower corner. Can she hold some shape, or is she going to bust out the 10 a little bit? All right. Fortunate it didn't go, you might say, Jason, considering the leave of the cue ball.
Mm-hmm.
But give some hope to Melissa here.
This has been a tough rack for these ladies.
Yeah, and that's just like I said, the 8-ball, sometimes it just, the layout just doesn't agree with either player. It's just, you know, takes multiple innings to try and produce a run out. The same thing happens when the guys are up there. It's one thing I do like about 8-ball sometimes. You got to have a lot of wit to play the game, a lot of pool knowledge. Not a whole lot she can do here now. You'll see the 2 does go in the right side pocket if you're looking at your screen. So if she can cut this in and fall underneath the 2, she's got the corner as well. So a lot of angle on this, meaning she's going to have to hit it delicate. Got away from her.
Yep.
Now she's going to pocket that
She
ball.
did pocket Lisa's ball and gives ball in hand to Lisa, so could be it here, huh?
Yeah, she's just got to make a little bit of a shot down the table and roll forward for the 8 in the side, most likely. And it looks like maybe these ladies get 1 rack of practice before the match starts, maybe. Just 1 rack, a few balls, maybe. I'm watching the, what would be the 2:30 round get started, I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes it depends on how much time,
Right.
you know, and they get a chance to hit a few balls. I know a lot of them were up here last night getting used to the tables as best they could.
Perfect speed there by Lisa, and former champion is going to advance here
Yes,
in
she
round number
is.
1.
All right, Lisa Cossette with the 5-3 victory over Melissa Durkin. In this second round, we are going to step away momentarily, find out who we've got in our next round, grab a quick drink, and we will be back here on the APA Facebook page. Thank you for tuning in.